Welcome to November 29. I'm Chris McCleary with another daily CIRF report. Is November going by fast or is it just me? I'm not sure if I want to show the astrology chart because there's so many lines and conflicts galore. The transit moon in the tropical, we're looking at the inner zodiac. If you're interested in why there's two zodiacs, make sure you look at the last, there's 2 videos ago where I explain these two. And we're looking at the tropical, and moon's going into Virgo right now, and as we speak. And it's going to be transiting approximately 13 degrees in the next 24 hours. And Virgo is, it's got the to-do lists and got very detailed analysis of what they need to get done and chop, chop, chop. And, the archetype of Virgin is actually warranted here, especially because Virgin is in the DreamBot run, as also one of the other archetypes. But anyway, that's not so important right now as the relationships to other planets are in there. So we've got a moon squaring off first to Mercury, Mercury being the big messenger, and he's in retrograde. And the messenger is also in the DreamBot. I thought was interesting. Then just a few, maybe an hour or so later, then Jupiter's going to be in a square. And then a little bit later, the sun will be in a square. And then a little bit later, even, probably around bedtime, if you're on the same schedule I am, you're looking at an opposition to Mars, and Mars is frustrated, short-tempered, and aggressive under this influence. Again, we still have Venus moving into an opposition with Uranus. Uranus about, changing up all the relationships. We've talked about that extensively in the past few days. Oppositions and squares galore. Both of these are not harmonious relationships to other planets. And let's look at the numerology. Expectancy, observant, need for calm and serenity. This is all about Virgo. Expecting other people to perform. Very, very observant, nitpicky. And then a need for calm and serenity, not afraid to just leave and kind of be alone for a while. So, what does the DreamBot say? That's kind of exhausting looking at. And I don't have much better news for you. We've got extreme emotions is our main theme today. Linguistic set number 1 is all about Mercury, extremely naked, excited messenger. The excited messenger is still in that conjunction bubble with the sun, so it's invigorated. Especially it comes out of that saturation point, that burn point. All right, but the theme itself is the red arrows. This is the extreme emotions, contaminated training. I had forgotten. That's more Mercury, so eliminate that. Shit, frustrated, anger, extremely excited, feeling intense. So these are strong emotions, and that is a direct result of all these squares and oppositions. All they do is drum up. Oh my goodness! All they drum up is big emotions. And when we come back next, we're going to talk about how to orchestrate all this energy and how to navigate and surf it for your own good. So stay with me. We have all those squares, and it is worth talking about, showing you, which I will here in a second. But there is, it's going to go contradictory to what I sometimes talk about and the negative impacts of repression. There is clear possibility through the astrology and the influence that you're going to experience strong emotions today. And some of those are going to feel very negative. And a lot of those are going to be contentious, frustrated, anger, and the 9 yards. So, what I'm asking you today to do is a little bit opposite of what I normally ask you, because it involves a little bit of repression. And the reason why repression is so, I don't like using the word bad, but bad is that you're just going to have to deal with that energy later. Now, there's another phenomenon happening if you're replacing that repression with something else. And that's what we're doing today with the Leo optimism. And again, we're going to the sidereal astrology now to get our solution. And the moon is transiting Leo. And so Leo is big and bold, but very optimistic. So Leo can look at all the conflict around and still be a big, happy face, even with all the discontent around. And it can be very, and normally is for Leo, is very influential to other people. It's like whatever their energy is, seems like it trickles out to the rest of the people in the room or in that area. So that is the antidote, but it doesn't come without risks. And the risk for Leo is that you might become dominating and might really upset people. If you could become, dominating and people don't like it and you're expecting people to perform a certain way or be a certain way, even more so, then you actually invigorate this square and opposition frustration. So watch that. And if you're feeling negative, then it might be best for you to take a break first before you try to come back. And what we call this, before you try to come back and be positive and optimistic, instead of just placing the optimism on top of the frustration, which rarely works. That just looks like passive aggressiveness. So the way you can orchestrate this is to, while you're taking your break, you calming yourself down with whatever coping skill you want. You come back with optimism. And the way we call this is acting as if. Acting as if you're very positive. Yes, it's called pretending. But what we've seen is that for a lot of people, that really makes them feel better. So, like a depressed person, after a while, we can ask them as if, acting and behaving as if you're already happy. What would you be doing? Well, I would be doing my artwork, or I would be going to work, or I'd be, okay, go do that. And it works a lot of the time. Or, I hate that. Okay, who says a lot of the time? It works for some people some of the time. So let's see if that works for you today. Leo optimism, but watch for the downsides. And that's going to really get you through all these frustrating obstacles and hopefully give you a much better optimistic day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for being here.